Before you go, ladies, I wanted to bring you a bit of Meghan Markle. It's been a while since we've talked about the Duchess. She appeared on a Friends podcast this week, a woman who's even more annoying than Meghan.
The internet is in meltdown. What started as hushed whispers about Meghan Markle's mysterious past has now spiraled into a full-blown media firestorm. The Duchess of Sussex, once celebrated for controlling her own story with precision, is suddenly staring down a scandal that feels too dark to rewrite. At the heart of it, a rumored, chilling connection to the disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein. And this time, it's not just gossip. Old stories are resurfacing, damning details are leaking, and the world is watching.
Thing is just so painful. I've just picked one little clip. Here she just talks about just what a incredible work ethic she has.
My gosh, I work so hard and I appreciate what hard work looks like. I like working hard.
They're connecting dots in a web Meghan Markle likely prayed would stay buried forever. But the truth has a way of surfacing, and now it's too late. The fallout has already begun. Critics, royal watchers, and relentless investigative journalists are closing in, and the silence from Montecito? It's louder than words. This could be the spark that ignites Meghan's biggest scandal yet. One that traces back to a time long before she ever met Prince Harry. Let's dive into the explosive origins of a story that refuses to stay in the shadows.
Being a mum, Prue, it's too much for me. There's only small doses of that podcast I can consume because
I think you did
it's
very
just too
well
painful.
lasting that long. I mean, it is, so that is enough to make you go to the...
Meghan's early days in Hollywood are being re-examined with fresh, unforgiving eyes. Back when she was a briefcase girl on Deal or No Deal, she wasn't just chasing screen time. She was reportedly stepping into the shadowy circles of LA's elite. Glitzy charity galas, exclusive events, and private, closed-door gatherings, many allegedly linked to powerful figures like Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's infamous associate. Investigators are now tracing her name to a series of high-profile parties in Los Angeles, and some of those guest lists are raising more than just eyebrows.
Is just something else. So he's made his bed, poor H, as she calls him. You know, what a silly boy he is, and he's going to learn the hard way, I think.
Meghan has long brushed off that chapter as part of her early hustle, just another actress navigating Hollywood. But now, critics are saying there's more to the story. Much more. The firestorm truly ignited when a leaked guest list from a 2006 private networking event in New York surfaced, an event hosted by individuals deeply tied to Epstein's inner circle. And among the names, one stood out: M. Markle. Skeptics called it a stretch, demanding hard proof. But independent journalists quickly confirmed the event was real, and Meghan's team rushed to label it a coincidence or a simple case of mistaken identity. Still, the timeline is haunting. Her travels that year line up almost too perfectly, and the questions just keep growing louder.
Use contempt as the issue, and that will be the big flood of news that they try to create.
Don't the Clintons have questions to answer here? Don't the Clintons have questions to answer here, Robert? We know that by your own, one of the letter to Bill Clinton says, by your own admission, you flew on Jeffrey Epstein's private plane on 4 separate times. During one of these trips, you're even...
Royal critics are now asking the questions Meghan has never answered. Why was she anywhere near Epstein's infamous circle? And why has this chapter of her past remained untouched? Enter Lady Colin Campbell and Tom Bower, two voices never afraid to wade into royal controversy. In a series of back-to-back interviews, both dropped bombshells. They claimed Meghan didn't just stumble into the spotlight. She navigated her way there with precision, using charm, ambition, and carefully chosen connections with the wealthy and powerful, including those tied to Epstein's world. Bower didn't hold back, saying, "It's no surprise Meghan gravitated toward these networks. It's how she climbed." Lady C went even further, calling it a calculated strategy, alleging Meghan used Prince Harry as the ultimate cover, a royal shield to bury her questionable past. Their remarks have gone viral, lighting up the internet with calls for transparency. And just as the firestorm hits its peak, a new twist emerges: the discovery of a flight manifest that could change everything.
Receiving a massage from one of Mr. Epstein's victims.
And so Donald Trump is on at least 17 times in the files, according to the Wall Street Journal. And I'm sure that this committee is going
Who he's suing?
I'm sure they are going to subpoena all of Trump's work too, right? All of his involvement, that they had 1,000 FBI...
Royal watchers are in a frenzy. A set of Epstein's pilot logs from 2006 has surfaced, and among the listed passengers on a private jet from New York to L. A name that's setting off alarm bells. M. Markle. Now, the name alone isn't conclusive, but it's enough to raise serious questions. Experts are calling for a deep forensic dive into travel records, phone logs, and emails. And the big question echoing across media platforms is simple. If Meghan has nothing to hide, why hasn't she offered a clear denial or any proof to clear her name? Since the story broke, Montecito has reportedly gone into full PR lockdown. Insiders say Meghan's team is in crisis mode, scrubbing digital footprints, pressuring allies into silence, and drafting legal threats against media outlets daring to dig deeper. But in the digital age, silence doesn't kill a story, it feeds it. And now, the Sussexes' refusal to address the growing scandal head-on is backfiring in real time. Public trust isn't just slipping, it's collapsing.
FBI agents redacting all the famous people so that they wouldn't actually do the people that were the perpetrators. They would only keep the victims victimized, and that's what's coming out all over TV. And it's a tragedy, and it's a horrific tragedy.
It is. But I just go back to my questions.
Okay, that's aside from that, Mrs. Lincoln. How's the play?
As journalists dig deeper, the spotlight on Meghan grows harsher. For someone who's been so vocal about demanding transparency from the royal family, her silence and refusal to clarify her own associations is beginning to reek of hypocrisy. Now, newly unsealed documents are adding yet another blow to her already faltering PR image. A 2023 investigative report revisiting Epstein's flight logs allegedly uncovered a variation of Meghan's name hidden in previously redacted files. The entry? A private jet from New York to the Virgin Islands in early 2006. Meghan's team rushed to deny any connection, but digital analysts and legal experts quickly flagged troubling inconsistencies in her travel history from that period. Then came another twist. Independent investigators found that one of Meghan's early agents had known ties to Ghislaine Maxwell, raising fresh questions about the company she kept long before her royal chapter began. And just as the Epstein rumors began swirling again, insiders confirmed Meghan's legal team was already preparing for full damage control.
No, it's not. It's the sense that saying you can talk about Donald Trump and that's all fine, but don't the Clintons
and
have...
all the victims being victimized more.
Yes,
and
I totally accept...
who was the
okay.
AA, I know what an AA does. An AA is the top assistant who expedites, because I've been AA to people.
Okay, I accept all of that.
Epstein stuff.
I'm not questioning...
Meghan's team quickly launched into damage control, firing off multiple cease and desist letters to social media platforms and news blogs, demanding they take down any content linking her to Epstein. But instead of calming the storm, the legal backlash only poured fuel on the fire. Strangely, the harder her camp pushed, the more curious the public became. Legal experts couldn't help but note the irony by reacting so aggressively. Meghan may have unintentionally validated the very claims she was trying to bury. To many, this wasn't a move of protection, it was a move of panic. A desperate scramble to erase the trail before the narrative slipped completely out of her grasp. Adding even more weight to the scandal, royal biographer Tom Bower stepped in with a pointed warning. There's too much circumstantial evidence to dismiss this as baseless. Bower, who has spent years investigating Meghan's past, didn't mince words. He highlighted her long-standing ties to Hollywood's most elite and her well-documented obsession with climbing the social ladder. According to him, the Markle brand isn't just polished, it's built on carefully curated ambition.
Any of that, I'm not necessarily saying it's not true. What I'm asking you is, don't the Clintons have questions to answer on this?
Doesn't Donald Trump have questions? And this is deflection of the president.
Well, you're deflecting because you're not answering my question, Robert. Don't the Clintons have questions to answer here?
Are you shocked that Bill Clinton was a bad boy?
Built on illusion, that's how some are now describing Meghan Markle's rise. She's been accused of rewriting her origin story, reshaping relationships, and now, hiding links to circles she likely hoped would never be unearthed. And Tom Bower's latest remarks have only fueled the storm, sparking a tidal wave of mainstream debate. What else might Meghan be keeping from the world? Strangely, the royal family has met this growing scandal with eerie silence. Palace insiders suggest that's no accident. According to one senior aide, the monarchy is letting the storm play out, watching as karma delivers what they never could. After years of being publicly criticized by Meghan in interviews, docuseries, and her now-defunct podcast, Buckingham Palace may be quietly enjoying the unraveling of a duchess, who once accused them of everything under the Sunday, but what's most damning isn't the headlines. It's the fallout. The public backlash has been swift and brutal. Former supporters, Hollywood peers, and even neutral commentators are distancing themselves. Online, forums are flooded with calls for Netflix to cancel any future Markle-related deals. And behind the scenes, big-name sponsors are quietly backing away. Her once celebrated Hollywood comeback has shattered, and her carefully crafted image of empowerment is crumbling under the weight of scandal. In a cruel twist of fate, the woman who once escaped royal drama to build a new legacy is now drowning in a crisis darker than anything she left behind. As whispers around Epstein grew louder, subtle but powerful tremors rippled through Meghan's business empire. Insiders claim that several high-profile partnerships with Archewell have either paused or been canceled altogether. In a world where perception is everything, no brand wants to be tied to someone whose name is now being whispered in the same breath as Epstein's. This, inside Archewell, panic has reportedly taken over. Leaked reports suggest senior staff are divided. Some want to issue a public statement, while others warn that any response could be seen as an admission of guilt. Meanwhile, internal fears are rising. Employees are allegedly worried about getting pulled into legal battles if subpoenas come into play. And just when it seemed the story couldn't get worse, former royal staff began stepping forward. One ex-palace aide told a UK outlet, "This is the Meghan we knew behind closed doors, masking ambition with charm and always connected to the oddest circles." The claim adds fuel to a growing theory. Meghan's public persona may have been carefully crafted, but behind it lies a history of secrecy and strategic manipulation. Polls in the US now show a sharp decline in Meghan's favorability, especially among women who once viewed her as a symbol of strength and independence. The Epstein link has changed that. Many are now questioning how someone who champions women's rights could be associated, even loosely, with a man infamous for exploiting young girls. Critics are calling it the height of hypocrisy. While Buckingham Palace hasn't said a word, royal commentators are noticing a shift. Where the firm once tiptoed around Sussex-related controversy, it now seems to be stepping back entirely. No support, no defense, no statement. Just silence, and that silence speaks volumes. The palace, it seems, is letting Meghan fall on her own. As her name continues to appear in damning headlines, many believe this could be the final break the moment the royals sever all remaining ties. Meghan Markle's carefully polished image is cracking, and the deeper you look, the darker the picture becomes. So now, it's your turn to ask the hard questions. Stay informed, don't fall for the PR spin. What else is being hidden? Who's pulling the strings? And most importantly, why now? Subscribe and stay with us as we continue uncovering the stories they don't want you to hear. Because no matter how deep they bury it, the truth always finds a way to rise.